Season 3, Episode 3 of Tell Me a Lie continues to peel back the emotional layers that have defined the series, relying heavily on the toxic intimacy that has always been at its core. On the surface, this episode seems calm, but beneath that calm is a storm of unresolved emotions, manipulation, and self-sacrifice that maintains the tension from beginning to end. Lucy remains the emotional center of the episode, torn between who she wants to be and who she keeps becoming around Stephen. This episode depicts his inner conflict with painful realism, showing how easy it is to fall back into old patterns, even when we know they're destructive. The script does its best to make that choice disappointing, but also completely believable. As expected, Stephen is both fascinating and disturbing. This episode sharpens his role as a quiet antagonist, someone who doesn't need to raise his voice or act overtly cruel to maintain control. His subtle gaslighting and carefully chosen words reinforce how emotionally dangerous he is, making every interaction with him feel like a psychological chess match. One of the strongest elements of the episode is its packing. Instead of rushing into dramatic moments, the story allows you to linger in the silences, glances, and unfinished conversations. These pauses add emotional weight and make the tension feel more natural, as if the characters are slowly approaching an outcome they already feel. Supporting characters are given more freedom here, especially those caught up in Lucy and Stephen's volatile relationship. Their reactions and concerns quietly reflect what the general public thinks and highlight that toxic relationships rarely exist in a vacuum and can often put strain on friendships. Emotionally, this episode is exhausting in a good way. This work depicts the exhaustion that comes from loving someone who constantly brings you down, as well as the feelings of guilt and remorse that come with it. This episode stays true to the series' raw emotional tone, choosing to sit in the discomfort rather than offering comfort or resolution. Dialogue remains one of the series' greatest strengths. Conversations seem disorganized and unfinished, often ending without a conclusion. The characters tell the truth rather than grappling with it directly. It reflects the emotional subtleties of real life, making each conversation tense and meaningful. Visually, this episode maintains the moody, intimate aesthetic of the series. Dim lighting and tight framing emphasize a sense of emotional isolation, and lingering shots reinforce the sense that the characters are caught in a cycle they find difficult to break. Episode 3 doesn't rely on shocking developments or explosive confrontations, but it does have psychological depth. Tension builds slowly with restraint, rewarding viewers who pay attention to subtext and emotional nuance rather than overt drama. All in all, Season 3, Episode 3, Tell Me a Lie, is a quietly devastating chapter that deepens the emotional impact of the series. This is an episode about relapse, denial, and the long-lasting conflict of an unresolved relationship, leaving viewers reeling not so much from what happened, but from